10 years ago, I didn't think this was possible. 13 years ago when I transitioned, I didn't think this was possible. I lived a life alone. No one knew what transgender was. It wasn't in the books. It wasn't in a place where you could go into the self-help books. And I knew I was different. At 4 years old, I knew I was a girl. I wanted to be a witch at Halloween. And they said, you can't be a witch. Girls are witches. So I got the pushback, even though I was 4. I put it away. Became a Cub Scout, did everything a little boy would do. Then on Halloween, I got a nice, beautiful, my sister's one-piece lilac bathing suit with a sash that said Lifeguard of the Year. And I strutted around. And everybody laughed and everybody applauded. And I thought to myself, if they only knew. And then I went home and I cried because I realized I could only be authentic one day a year, Halloween. So I decided then I can't handle this. There's no one I could go to. I always had a strong faith in God, but I kind of kept that a secret. And I just figured this is going to be the rest of my life because I can't define or know who or what I am. And I did everything life tells you to do. So I grew up, got married, had children, and lived the life of a lie. I was happy. I had the Lever to Beaver home that I grew up in. My siblings were great. There was nothing wrong except for this secret I had that would never, ever come to fruition. And then one day when I was 40, I walked into the International Foundation for Gender Education here in Waltham, crying my eyes out and saying, I need to tell you my story. And a trans woman was there and said, I'll tell you your story. I went, oh, really? And she said, right now you're about 40 years old. She said, all I can say to you, and she did, she walked me through my life, and she said, by 50, if you don't deal with this, it'll consume you or kill you. And I put that away. And then certainly at 49 years old, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed with a beautiful home, 2 daughters, a wife, the picket fence, and a dog. And I sat and I looked out on a beautiful day like today and I said, I can't do this anymore. I need to be authentic, and I'm about to lose everything that I have. And that's exactly what took place. My wife asked for a divorce. I thought that was the end of the story. But I transitioned. I learned what transition was all about. I had my little pockets of support. I had women who were women their whole life who could take 50 years of male teaching and turn me into the beautiful woman I knew I could become, visibly if not internally. Because we don't know what a petite is. We don't know. Our kids are a little different than yours. We walk a little different now. You know, everything has to be learned. And I said, could I do this? Could I do this? And to make a long story short, when I entered seminary, I had gone to a trade school, got a job at Raytheon, worked there for 38 years, didn't have an undergrad, and here I am going to start seminary. And it became overwhelming, the amount of work that a seminary student gets, as well as dealing with the trans issue. And I just broke down one day, and I'm sitting on the sidewalk, and the dean of the school came and said, Renee, what's wrong? And I said, everything before me is a mountain. So high, I don't know if I can cross those mountains. And she looked around, and said, Renee, all I see is speed bumps. Step over them. And it changed my perspective. I said, God, you're here, my deans are here, my support system is here, I can do this. So 12 years ago, when I was asking God, and not so much nice words, because we used to argue, I said, why? Why me? Why this? And all these years later, God was saying, you're not ready yet. We're gonna forge you. We're gonna make you the woman you're about to become. And I became that woman, and now God says, because. You have a wonderful ministry to go to. I've been ordained for 31 days now. I have 385 churches to go through, all through the UCC that are not open and affirming to see if you're There isn't a church, a synagogue, a library, a police station that I won't go to if it helps acceptance. You heard the horrific news. We could sit in despair. 3 months ago, and I do have the statistics because I memorized them, 330 bills were anti-transgender or anti-LGBTQ bills, 330 in 36 states. Just a month ago, 410 bills in 39 states. Just last week, 650 bills in 46 states. It's going like wildfire. I could see that as a mountain. But people talk about healing. 92% of the population are LGBTQ friendly. Those mountains are going to collapse someday. And we, collectively, the allies in our community, are going to make the difference. Because God, in any way you see God, or any way you see a higher spirit, is on our side. And with God on my side, everything is possible. And the healing begins. And we turn that healing into love, and we move forward. I'm sorry I couldn't finish my poem, but thank you so much for allowing me to talk.